interview number 5. This is Parker Emmerson, Day 2 Coin Summit. Parker, thanks for being with us today on Let's Talk Bitcoin.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So you are with my BlogBand LLC.
We actually are now BlogBand LLC. We've rebranded since we obtained the patent. The patent is in my name, so basically what we are is a patented social network for musicians to collaborate online in a band that they start or they join. They can audition for bands. They can create like a user profile page, like a MySpace profile or a Facebook profile. And then they can create a band page, and they can invite people to join the band like a group. They can create a song in that band, and then they can upload tracks into that song file, download them, rework them, and repost them, and select which version is displayed or published.
So you said that it's a patented process, and this sounds like it's a very collaborative thing. So patents in this space are sort of interesting. What is your strategy with the patent? Why was that a decision you made, and what does it enable you to do here?
Well, I went to the iPhone Dev Camp not long after I initially started the website, and I was hoping to find developers there, but I don't have a particular amount of expertise. I'm familiar with like HTML and posting code and all the internet and content management systems, but developing a JavaScript app like we needed was just a little bit over my head. So I went the route of intellectual property protection because I felt like it was an invention, and it was the best way to establish what we were doing in that space at the time.
So what is the particular thing that you've patented here? What is the innovation? Because it sounds to me like it's a social network, and so can you just describe exactly what's going on?
Right. So the claims basically are this creating of a group and the creating of a song, and then the display and publishing of a specific version of that song, and the remote reworking of musical collaborations.
So is there something underlying this that uses the Bitcoin infrastructure, or are you using Bitcoin to enable this, or what kind of payment technologies are kind of built into it?
We also have future patents pending that will include and incorporate Bitcoin payments and payments in a host of different currencies, such that the payments, when either an album or a song is sold, they get split between the members of that band.
So are you familiar with user-created assets built on top of Bitcoin?
No, I'm not. You were talking about that. I was hoping to learn more about it.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second, because one of the interesting things is that essentially creating a new user-created asset for every single piece of content that's going to be.
That's great.
So what that means is that then through these assets, so if you create a new asset and let's apply this to songs, for example. You have a song, and you create it. You create this asset. It then has 10,000 shares that trade just the same as Bitcoin does, except they also can utilize a decentralized person-to-person exchange that is kind of built into this platform. It's very, very inexpensive to do this. And then you can essentially have one Bitcoin address that controls the issuance of this token and controls this token. So any revenue that comes into that address can then be sent out to all of the constituent shares as a dividend.
That's fantastic.
So it seems like that really enables what you're talking about, right?
Yes, and also that also helps make sure that musicians get paid for what they do, and and it also helps licensing and all of this.
Right. Again, it seems like these blockchain technologies really can enable. I think that again, this idea of creating a group and then creating songs that are essentially monetized based off of that. I think that all of the tools are out there. So instead of having to build, roll your own sort of solution and deal with all the security stuff, you can essentially leverage Bitcoin to do kind of the same thing, or create your own chain. And again, that's the thing, is that you start talking about something like music, and maybe it's too big to fit on Bitcoin. Maybe it should be its own thing, or maybe again, these are markets that should create themselves.
Why don't you just send somebody the song itself?
Right, exactly. Well, that's the point, is that with a model like this, you don't even have to really charge for the song, because the monetization comes from the group being the initial controllers of that revenue, and then they can choose to either, have revenue come in when they license it for, some sort of advertising deal or whatever. There are a variety of ways that you can get paid. Then you do the distribution through these systems.
Well, this is all really exciting stuff, because I've gotten at this convention to link up with a lot of people, and I've kind of stitched together some people's projects who might actually make this manifest into a functioning platform. All sorts of formats in which music can be downloaded, purchased, and distributed outside of the mainstream, like iTunes and
Well, I think that's really
Amazon.
what we're seeing here is that, yeah, there's this sudden flowering of all of these different ideas, all of these different projects that all try to address these problems. And again, like, I don't know necessarily which ones are going to be successful. I hope you're successful, but there have been such problems for so long. I mean, why is this a problem that you wanted to attack? Why is this something that matters to you?
Because I mean, I just feel like there are a lot of musicians who go unheard. They're really good musicians who just aren't recognized, and then they get lost in the sea of the internet. But to bring them to the forefront, to give them, there's no point in signing up for an iTunes if you're a small musician just trying to get noticed. They don't do anything to help you promote yourself. They don't do anything to help you out.
But there's cost.
And there's cost for you if you ever wanted to do that.
So this lowers the barrier to entry, really, is what we're saying.
And
here.
we're going to promote people. We're going to help distribute music and really get.
But if you're successful, don't you have the same problem as iTunes?
Like, what is that?
Well, no. You said that iTunes doesn't do anything to promote people. They do something to promote people, but they tend to be people who pay them money. Yeah, it tends to be like big brands and things like that.
No, this is the great part is it's a social network, and we give people tools to promote themselves.
I see.
Really useful tools,
right?
Like
as opposed
SEO and all of this built into the framework.
So as opposed to iTunes, where they list you, and then if you're popular or you pay them, then you get promotion. Exactly. But there's no ability to promote yourself.
Not really. No.
Okay, so you're really talking about more of a toolkit.
It is gonna be. Yeah.
Cool. Great.
For sure.
Well, Parker, thank you very much for your time. Is there anything else, are you looking for any development?
We're poised. We're open to development. I'm thinking about creating some equity using colored coins to see if I can encourage people who want to develop based on taking equity. And then also, we're poised to really be a major player here because we have the IP asset and we also have the plan and the vision for it.
Well, that's great. So if somebody'd like to get in touch with you or is interested in your project, is there a website or an email address?
Yes, it's a little bit technical, but I'm ParkerEmmerson.com, and that's EMMERSON. I have 2 M's in my last name, ParkerEmmerson.com, and then I'm powerinthelimes@gmail.com. And you can contact me using any of those methods.
Parker, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.